We're gonna get to our sheets, yeah? Yes, yes, yes. Hello and welcome to the Kino Korner. We discuss the very best in movies, news, and trailers from a certain point of view. I am joined here today by the Chakaron Macaron.
So
Is that your sleepy voice? Just what's up, man?
no,
Oh. That's
this is
that.
me being woken up from my 15 hours of eternal slumber,
Yes. Woke up early
my
from.
daily 15 hours of slumber.
Yes, I disturbed your hibernation. I'm sorry. But yes, as the you can see in the bottom right here, our subject of the day is going to be a little subject that was handpicked last time called "What the fuck did I just watch?" When we get to our main topic, that's basically we're gonna try to reminisce about movies we've seen that just kind of left us feel like, "What the fuck was that all about?" Maybe left us confused, or maybe it's a what the fuck, like it exceeded expectations. It'll be just kind of something to explore a little bit later, but without further ado, I think it's time to get a little bit started here with a little bit of news. Now, while the last episode was a bit light, over the course of the past week, there's been a lot of relevant movie news and trailers kind of just dumped on the public. There's obviously gonna be things I missed, um, and because as always, there's gonna be a lot of shifting tones. The first thing that I want to bring up and discuss it's obviously because this was a tragedy, but because it does relate to the topic of last time, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. So, in order to start, not long after our last episode, we learned that the head writer of the show Courage the Cowardly Dog, and he didn't just do that; he also wrote other things like Balto. He was a very if you had a childhood in the 90s, you were aware of Stephen Cohen, even if you didn't know him by name. So, if only briefly, I'd like to offer a moment of silence for Stephen Cohen before we get into it. And before we get to that moment of silence, do you know anything about Stephen Cohen, Mr. Chakaron? Anything you'd like to share?
Just that while I didn't know his name, I knew his work. Balto was one of my favorite movies growing up, and I looked at his IMDb to see what he was part of, and show after show that I saw, either I watched some or uh, I had I knew of. This man was a very prolific talent, and Courage the Cowardly Dog actually was one of my favorite shows I love to watch. Uh, and with this man's passing, it's a tragedy, and the world's a little bit less brighter of a place with him gone.
Indeed. So, if everyone will join us, we're going to have a brief moment of silence before we start getting into everything for the tone start a little shift, look a little heavy, but moment of silence, please. All right. Thank y'all for that. Now, um, as I said before, there was a lot of movie news. I don't mean to pass the buck or just feel a little bit dismissive of this. There's a lot to get to today. So, the first is one that I actually have the least to say on amongst all the movie news, but I included it because it's interesting, and I think you might know something about this.
Ah,
Yep, that good old Claymore getting a live action adaptation.
I mean, if they do it right, it'll be amazing.
Yep.
that it's that it's that if they do it right. Uh, so I remember I've read all of Claymore. I have watched a little bit of the anime. To be honest, I haven't seen all of it, so I don't know how well they hold up to to the manga.
Mm-hmm.
But it uh, it's a great series, and bringing it to live action, I think this is one of the few one of the few mangas that they could really do it well with. I don't remember. Is it now? Is it just the series being made? Like it's being made into a series, or is it a movie?
Let me double check that to confirm. Okay, because I believe it is just a series. Oh, just a series. It's a series, yeah.
Okay, then then it's then the likelihood of it being good of it being decent has gone up immensely because there is too much to unpack to make it just a movie. Uh, so you could do it if you wanted to make subsequent like multiple movies. Uh, but
I feel that it's too niche.
the
I don't want to dog like shit on the subject matter. I've heard it. I've also heard it's very good, but I don't know if it's as widespread as other big names that have gotten live action adaptations to do a
oh
multiple movie run. You know?
oh yeah, definitely. I don't think it would take a lot of work to make multiple movies of Claymore, and I think a series is the best way to go. It's the best way to go about that. Because honestly, it works better as a series instead of a movie. Like you don't have to change much. The uh the manga's already in uh episodic format, basically.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to do that anyway on a production level. Uh,
This could be a perfect storm to
but
catch
still,
people's interest. I've
yeah.
heard somebody kind of describe Claymore to me as it's as far as like tone and story, it's like somewhere between Highlander and The Witcher, but with knights. Which
Um,
is that accurate, or are they kind of blowing smoke out their ass when they described it that way?
I don't know about the blowing smoke out their ass, but let's see. The Witcher I could definitely see if anything, I would say it's a bit more like Berserk and The Witcher.
Okay,
But uh it's definitely not your usual, like, oh, the hero leaves on his quest to go take down the bad guy or whatever kind series.
of course,
It's like some real it's a very mature series, I guess you could say. It's there's definitely some nuance that happens. There's some tough decisions that that the characters have to make because the world's a dirty place.
yeah.
Yes, absolute cinema.
In that respect,
It's
like it could be, and just for the sake of everything going around in pop culture, release timing, and I'm going to talk about release timing when we talk about something else later in news. But I know there's a lot of backlash right now with the current Witcher game, which I completely disagree with. But if this is releasing like end of this year, beginning of next year, who knows how fast Netflix makes stuff? It's possible, but unlikely. That this could like get released just in the right time to get all of the Witcher fans to carry over to something new, and we could potentially see a surge of popularity in Claymore. Like it's possible, in my opinion.
very possible.
Like
A Claymore game. I'm not sure how to think about that. I like if, unless you're just playing the story of Claymore, which I guess is
Hmm. What kind of game would
it'd
it
be
be
it'd be
though?
one more anime game
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
Yeah.
which isn't bad. It's just not usually my cup of tea because I've already read the whole story and you can if it has an anime you can watch this whole thing. Do I have to play it now too? But then again, there's people who prefer that medium to experience the story.
Hmm.
They want to have that involvement. Uh, but teach their own, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, not fans of the game, but of fans of like The Witcher in general, because of everything going on
Ah,
in
yeah.
there, and just because dude bros be dude bros. Like this, depending on when this releases, this could be a perfect storm where more people just kind of flock to Claymore because of everything going on. And
Yeah.
I'm going. I feel like that is going to be my quote of the fucking year. But every episode, every bit of new news and new trailers seems to point towards my prediction coming true that the next big thing that's going to knock superhero movies off their pedestal is going to be video game adaptations.
Very possible. Very possible. That it's either that or anime, live action
Yeah,
anime.
or live action anime. And to your comment, Griffin, live action anime is definitely one that I have considered putting on there. I am going to wait until because there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to wait till other projects get made. I'm going to wait till at least after season 2 of One Piece because that's such a unique testing ground of like what things that could be. And I just kind of want to see like what this is what we could do, right? This is what we could do. We're get as big of a sample pool as possible before I really tackle that because that's a whole can of worms. But that is definitely a topic that will happen in a future episode. Yeah. I guess move on to our next bit of news. Okay. This I have a few words on this. Darren Aronofsky is talks to direct a new Cujo movie. I believe
Mm,
this is on Netflix, which seems to be getting everything. Um, so I know why they haven't remade Cujo. I know why this is a big deal, and see, kind of yeah, Netflix's adaptation of Cujo. Okay, I just had to confirm that. So this is the guy. He makes good movies. He's recently made like The Whale, is his last big movie. I don't know how to say this without just being as blunt as I can, but it, they're gonna have to use a real dog. They're gonna obviously not for that certain scene that's gonna happen at the end and that is gonna cause a lot of stir, and for some of the imagery of like all the blood on the dog. But for most of the movie and even some of the human attack scenes, they're going to have to use a real dog. If they use like just some CG mess for like most of the dog effects, just because they don't want to hurt a living dog, the whole thing better be animated. And I know that's a weird stance to take. I know this it almost makes me sound heartless, but for Cujo, the whole terror of it is that this could happen to any dog. Dog gets infected with rabies and goes nuts, and things get weird. Things get violent. So you're either gonna have to make the whole thing like CG or animated, so you don't hurt any animals, or for a good chunk of these things, you're gonna have to use a real dog. I don't know. I
well, I happen to have a little bit of insider information on the original Cujo,
really.
and that I got to at one point hear an interview uh, from the daughter of the man who trained the dogs for Cujo.
Mm-hmm.
because it was more than one dog. Um,
Yeah.
but she like, which also brought in the whole creepy slash horror aspect of Cujo. You know that this could that you just mentioned that this could happen to any dog, and that to her these were just the dogs. These are just her dad's dogs that they trained for movies and such.
Hmm.
But she had to admit at one point where she let the dogs out at night, and then she saw one of them standing out there in the yard, just looking at her, and she had seen Cujo, and she had that little flash of fear from because
Yeah.
from it, but at the same, but they've done it before. They've had real they've had dog actors for Cujo before,
Yeah.
and the effect was good. Uh,
It,
but my concern about the series uh, is mo- I'm unsure about this director, honestly, because for the most part the movies I've looked up that he's done
are
have
artsy.
have are say again.
They're pretty artsy.
I mean, yeah, uh, but I've also heard there are also some big names in there that are like okay, yeah, like I've heard good things about these movies. They're very a lot of them are very psychological.
Mhm.
The only problem is, well, though, he's also responsible for the Noah movie,
Yeah.
which honestly, that's one of the few movies where I stopped watching. like like I turned it off, and it was like I don't want to watch this anymore. This is stupid.
Fair. And to your point, Gunnar,
uh
it is like the Godzilla man in a suit thing, but with this, the difference with this one is with the Godzilla man in a suit thing. That's just more about authenticity. Just in general, you want to see things that are there. With this one, though, like I feel there is like there's something inherent to the message in the movie. Like you really need to emphasize what these people are going through, and that this really could has happened to any family's pet, and like because this whole thing takes place around their house basically, so like it needs to be there to let that dread sink in. Like it's in this one it's more emotional. With Godzilla it's more about authenticity, if that makes sense, but I do agree it's just slightly different scenarios, you know.
I do want to say, Griffin, that I envy you that you fell asleep during that movie. I was just mad. I was like, what the fuck is this? Hey, look at that. I found a topic for the later in the show.
Hey.
Found a topic. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, like I already know of like one or two things that I'm gonna start talking about. Like the what the fuck that I just watched is gonna be a rabbit hole for a while, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Um, but no, like my final thoughts on this is like this could work. It's just there's certain things I think they're gonna have to do and realize that they have to do for it to be good. I'll hold out until properly judging it until I see a trailer. What do you think?
Definitely, I'm gonna have to see how they take it. Because yeah, we're just gonna have to see how they do that trailer. Like that, there's no other way to go about it.
Yeah,
We got to see how they do the tone, how they do all that stuff and everything.
yeah.
But I do, if they do go with the whole slight animated stuff. Crimson did bring up one thing, or Crimson Ashburn did bring up one thing: the whole the whole cocaine bear movie. They did a
It's-
pretty good job. They did a pretty
they
good job on
did.
that.
They did.
So there is, I can't believe I'm saying this, but there there is a standard now
There is a standard for killer animal
for animating
movies.
or animating an animal and it looking decent, especially for gory slash uh especially for a gory slash horror ish theme. So who knows? They could actually like bring it around.
You heard it
Out
here,
of nowhere.
folks. We're gonna judge Cujo based off of Cocaine Bear's standards. Let's go. I'm gonna put the Cocaine Bear trailer in my little playlist at the when I put this on YouTube just to confuse people. But I guess that our next bit of news. Oh, okay. Timing. Speaking of movies that are about to happen, Neil Blomkamp is gonna make a Starship Troopers movie. How much do you know about this?
I actually looked up some information about this um earlier. See just what was all the what exactly was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um
And how it's based off the
so
book and not necessarily
it's based off
yeah.
more of the book, not the not it's not a remake of the original film. Uh it'll be interesting to see how they take this how they how this is being done because the original movie uh was definitely a little campy, you know.
A
Like
little like it.
the yeah.
It
the
was
fast
it was an
the
army
fascism
recruitment video. That's all it
yeah
was.
the fascism was dialed up to broken
I'm doing
broken
my
dial.
part. Oh,
Which was its own thing, you know, like that like that's part of the I guess the artistic direction director wanted to take it. But it'll be interesting to see how it is taken with some of the propaganda with a couple layers of propaganda being taken off.
so my thoughts on that. On one hand, I have watched a few of this director's stuff like District 9. I think he or Chappie. I like this guy's movies. I think that they got the right guy
That
for the
yeah,
role.
that's right. Like I remember now. I was like, oh, this is the guy. That's what I couldn't remember before.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a very accomplished director who's done some very good work.
Hmm.
So I definitely feel like this is the guy who could really um, breathe some new life into this oh what's called
And just into the Starship Troopers
intellectual property.
franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now, here's my worry though. So you bring up the '90s movie, and I think that's part of it. Now he wants to separate it from that '90s movie. I think on paper that's great because you know if you're gonna remake a movie, like you don't want it to be a shot for shot remake of something else that already happened. Cough cough. But at the same time, Starship Troopers is in a very unique situation, particularly and I'm sure those of us who have played it would agree. Helldivers 2, in a lot of ways, is like the spiritual successor to Starship Troopers in terms of tone.
well,
And I feel weird bringing that up, but
I don't I don't disagree. I I
let me clarify. It's the
sorry.
successor of the
You
movie.
finish your point now, and then
Yeah, no, you're good.
I'll
Like it's the successor of the movie, not the book, of the movie in terms of tone. I want this movie to do well. All signs point to that this movie is going to be good. My worry, and I mentioned this earlier, has to do with timing. I don't know how a general audience would react to seeing Starship Troopers when they know that they have something like Helldivers, which is like the 90s movie already, and people are obviously going to compare it to the 90s movie, which is a tragedy because there is a good chance people are going to see it, people are going to see this, and it's actually a good movie. Like I worry for this movie, but I really think it's going to end up being good. That's my my thing with this one. Like,
Uh, how I see it is that yeah, you are right that they're gonna have to put in some work to show that this is the one that this isn't a remake.
yep.
This is uh a reimagining, I guess you could say. This is a different
Yeah.
uh uh this is a different take, the or I guess the a more original. It's the book being made into a movie instead of being propagandized.
Right. Realistically, it's
uh
probably going to have
and
more in common with something like Warhammer or Halo, truth be told.
probably, yeah, which honestly that'll find its audience too, because both of those have a very solid um fan base to
Yeah.
go off of. While Starship Troopers and Helldivers have their have their own following as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna be come down to their marketing. They can't just they're not gonna be able to just rest in the laurels of Troopers.
Yes.
They're gonna have to show that it's different. And if they do it well and show it well, um, then people hopefully will be able to understand that it's not it's something different.
I
Uh, but you know that is a risk
yeah.
that they're gonna have to take.
I think you hit the nail on the
Uh,
head. I think this really is just going to end up being more than anything a marketing test because like there is something that relates more to the 90s movie that exists around the same time that it's going to come down quality of the movie is in a sad way is almost going to be secondary. Which again, this is Neil Blomkamp. Chances are this is going to be a good movie going off of his track record. But this more than
yeah,
anything is going to be a marketing test. How well can they market this to both separate it from Helldivers 2 in the 90s movie and maybe in turn make it more closely resemble the book or one thing I didn't think about till today, that old Roughnecks show, which was more close to the book. Like and the ideal the obviously the ideal situation for this movie is that the original 90s movie, Helldivers 2, they could all exist simultaneously but give that different fix. You want to do that cheesy propaganda fueled BS? Watch the 90s movie play Helldivers 2. You want to watch a harrowing story about soldiers fighting for their life in this dystopia against the giant bugs? Watch Neil Blomkamp's movie. That's what I want for this. I want this to be good, but be just be able to separate itself. I can't help but worry, but we'll see. Any closing thoughts before I move on to the next slide, good sir?
no, I think we covered it pretty well.
Hell yeah. Well, next bit of news. This one is eh. Disney Plus doing a new live action Power Ranger show. I'm gonna be clear here. This could be a whole big pile of nothing, and people are making a big deal about it for no reason. Because I've looked up a few sources. I don't know if this is going to be a remake. It's not clear. For all we know, they're just adapting another season of Super Sentai, and it's just the next season of Power Rangers because Disney has this now. But yeah, that's the interesting part to me is that Disney has Power Rangers. Man, that's gonna make Kingdom Hearts games confusing. Oh man.
I honestly don't have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
I didn't know Disney got Power Rangers, but like what?
Because
Like, well, surprise, surprise, a lot, a series with a large following that they can milk numerous toys, sideshows,
so
movies, and other stuff off of. Yeah, like of course Disney would acquire it.
so here's the fun thing about it. Power Rangers is, and I'm gonna confirm this. Make sure it wasn't like a transaction that I who owns Power. Okay, so currently Power Rangers is owned by Hasbro. Not It's not owned by Disney. It's still owned by Hasbro. However, uh, Hasbro and Disney are they're buddy buddy. I mean, just look at their Star Wars shit.
Yeah.
Like this also implies that considering how close they are, if we were to get a live action magic show, it might just multicast on Netflix and Disney Plus. Which God, that's a weird thought. But this to me says that one of two things is happening. Either Disney is taking a gamble to revamp Power Rangers for a new audience, and if it goes well, we'll then acquire the franchise from Hasbro, which is very possible. Or this is again, that's option one. And in this scenario, if Disney does acquire Power Rangers full time, that is going to mean that other Power Ranger seasons will likely make it to Disney Plus, make it easier to stream them, which on one hand is good for a casual fan, but then it just makes the future kind of gray. The other side of this is a one time deal, and they're just going to do like a 6 to 8 episode series, similar to the Power Rangers movie we got a few years ago. Just doing the origin of the main six, or even just the main five, like the Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, like that original group.
Mm.
Because ever since it became harder to get the rest of Sentai and just that stuff became just much more goofy, like Saban and Hasbro have been just latching on to just everything that is original that they made and making a whole bunch of new stuff. The comics get weird. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. The comics get fucking weird, man. Um,
I didn't even know there were comics.
oh
So, so surprised to me, I guess.
yeah, the IDW's been doing. Which side note, IDW, you want to do fan comics or read fan comics? Read IDW. Great, great, great comics. I am very it's hard for me to get excited about this. The comics have Kaiju Rangers. There is like runs of Godzilla versus Power Rangers in IDW. It is a trip. Um, but I it's hard for me to get excited about this because in the most broad sense, when I hear Disney Power Rangers, it's all gonna come down to who in like Disney's creative team and all their media empire do they have working on this. Because on one hand, you have like their movie team that has a mixed bag of stuff. On the other hand, you have shows like Win or Lose, which I didn't watch yet, at least not fully. I've watched one episode. I won't talk about it later, but I'm gonna tell you right now, after watching one episode, holy fuck, it's good. Um, it Power Rangers is so niche. It's so unique. I I want to be wrong. I just don't see a way for Disney to do it without like inherently changing some of the core things that make Power Rangers Power Rangers, or by just making it way too goofy. Oh, is it Boom Studios that does Power Rangers? Oh yeah. Oh no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Boom Studios does Power Rangers. IDW does the crossovers. You're right. Um, but no, it's. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this piece of news. I want clarifications. Is this just going to be a new season and this is just the start of all the Power Ranger stuff moving over to Disney? Or is Disney getting a one time deal that could lead to them acquiring Power Rangers and or Hasbro on the whole? Either one's possible because this is such a specific thing. It's hard for Disney to just go out of their way to. That's the other side of it. I say this as someone who really loves Power Rangers. Is it really that popular in the current landscape for Disney to just go out of their way? You know?
I mean, I'll
Like,
be honest. I'm looking up something.
no, you're good. You're good.
So I'm a little bit zoned, but from what it, but it's
Oh, to me.
it's gonna be this one's up in the air too. This one's totally up in the air for me. Uh, we need some more information. Like as you said, we do need some more information. Like it, uh, if they're gonna try and make it another gritty reboot, or if they're gonna go back to a little bit more child focused one for the '90s, or if it's gonna be its own like take on things, or if it's just they're just remaking the entire series, except moving the time frame up from the '90s to now.
Okay.
You know,
I just got some new information that does clarify a few things and how this is going to be a nothing. This is a moving of rights. It is going to be the next season. So this is not going to be the original. It's not going to be a remake as of right now. It's going to be the
yeah.
next season they're working on, like in order. So like you have like Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, Power Rangers Space, all these different things. The, Hasbro still owns it, but Disney Plus gave them money to start airing that show weekly on Disney Plus. So that tells me that Disney Plus is basically is going to start getting the broadcasting rights to Power Rangers. Okay. Now that being said, if you want to be all a conspiracy theorist about this, there's still technically possible that this new series in the follow up is going to be more based off of original stuff or even based off the comics. But the confirmation we do have now is that it'll basically be the next season in line. Which, God, what Sentai would they even base it off of? Some of the ones after Hero Ranger get fucking weird. We'll see. The I, this has become what more less about the show itself that's coming to Disney Plus and more about everything else that Disney Plus could be getting Power Rangers related and what it could mean after. Like this could have
Yeah.
potential ripple effects that are more important than this one show itself. But no, but we'll I think it's something to really look at. But yeah, next subject. Now here's some good news that makes me happy. So Warner Brothers is in talks with Ketchup Entertainment, the people who very recently did the Day the Earth Blew Up movie, which I do want to see. I have only heard good things about it. To give Ketchup Entertainment the rights to uh, basically show Coyote versus Acme. Like they're gonna get all the production and distribution rights for that movie. And this news, I've already wanted to see the Day the Earth Blew Up just because it looked like simple fun. This news really makes me want to go see the Day the Earth Blew Up because this tells me that that movie is a testing ground. It's like, hey, if you can make this movie make a profit, sure. So yeah, this is your PSA. Go see The Day the Earth Blew Up, and we'll. There's a good chance we'll get Coyote versus Acme.
On my end, I'm just glad that like I had no idea about this movie, the Wile E. Coyote versus Acme.
Hmm.
Uh, but that uh the idea of it alone is so Looney Tunes like, but also it sounds like some grade A comedy because I to be honest, I've thought it multiple times like what the fuck is this Acme company, and then why is everything this guy gets from it a piece of shit? So of course, in current day, yeah, someone would sue after spending pretty much all of this money and everything he's gotten from them has blown up in his face or caused tremendous damage. Of course, they sue, but then again, it's Looney Tunes. This is
Yeah.
going to be ridiculous.
Oh,
This is an amazing film idea,
and
and yet this the news that it's not dead in the water is just so good. It's so good to hear.
And the best part is, this could well be an anthology. This entire movie could just be like these scenes of Wile E. Coyote and his lawyer in the courthouse, and their displaying of evidence is just them playing random Looney Tunes shorts and maybe some new ones they made, and just some long cutaways in between where they're just like some Looney Tune lawyer gags. There's all the characters appearing in the court case, and like it's one of those things where it's easy to see where this movie could go, but I want to see it because it sounds Looney Tunes, and everything I've heard about Day the Earth Blew Up, and I feel like that's talking about these movies simultaneously now is a good talking point. But that everyone has seen it says it really is like classic Looney Tunes. Where things are just kind of happen. Daffy isn't an asshole; he's just kind of loony. Uh, Porky isn't sarcastic, done with everything, kind of dork. He's just a he's
Oh no.
he's he's an optimist and kind of a goober. Like, and they're buddies. And then Petunia Pig is, and I told you like that's like the common thread I've heard people say when seeing The Day the Earth Blew Up is they weren't like getting out of it thinking like, oh, this is an amazing piece of cinema. They all got out thinking, man, why don't they make more movies like that? That was a good time. That was fun. Because it's like not
So
trying.
Crimson Aspirin brings up something funny that would be funny that I could see happening. But something I could I the first thought I had about it, just in the
Oh
courtroom,
gosh.
they pull the Roadrunner in as a witness for Acme stuff, and then either he goes onto a full like very articulate diatribe of everything that's happened. So this whole time he can actually talk, but all he's ever said before was meet meet, or he just says beep beep, and then Acme pulls out a translator, and it goes on to this whole articulate diatribe.
I like the idea
Or something
more
like that.
of him just of the Roadrunner himself being articulate. And then just after
It
Coyote's just looking at him, just pissed off and confused. He doesn't even go beep beep. He just does the little sticking his tongue, and then that's the only line he has in the movie is that explanation. That would be amazing.
or he just goes beep beep, and then like it just shows a paragraph on the screen, and then everyone's just like, "Wait, we can understand him." Oh
there's
no,
actual
the Roadrunner owns Acme. Fuck. Wait, no, that actually wouldn't be it. That actually isn't it. The whole I have looked up a little bit of the story. The or I found out some news about the story. It basically the reason the lawyer is working with Wile E. Coyote is because the lawyer finds out uh his boss um his asshole of a boss in his law firm is also the CEO of Acme.
Jesus. Like,
So he and Wiley Cody team up to sue Acme,
so I,
both to get back at his boss as well as to get justice for Wiley Coyote because everything he's bought from Acme has not worked like it should, or it needed to have a lot more fine print. Which maybe Wiley Coyote just did never read, but I don't know.
I would love it if like I keep on I'm remaining on the Roadrunner idea, and the one thing I thought would be funny, be a really good meta joke, is if like Roadrunner talks and rather it just does the beep 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 beep, beep just random beeps and meeps and tongue flicks and whatnot, and no one can understand him, but then all of a sudden like one of like the animated characters who's make the judge animated who just kind of reaches out of the screen and like turns on the subtitles like on a TV, and all of a sudden like he's still doing the same testimony, but he has this fully articulate subtitles that everyone can see. And Kyrie's like, I could have wait, what? I could have done that. What the fuck? I that there's so many things you could do with that. Like I just want to see this so bad. And hearing that there is a chance that we're gonna get Coyote versus Acme like on the big screen, I am hopeful, and I might go out of my way to go see The Day the Earth Blew Up after work this week. I might. Yeah. Uh, And, and I move on to the next bit of movie news here. Oh no, that's right. That was the last piece of movie news. Yeah, we got a lot of things, so I'm mixed up a little bit. But we're moving on to trailers. There were a few trailers. Pull up a full list here. Yes. Okay. Okay. Um, First trailer to talk about. I think I have the least to say. Oh no, I did this one first. Talk about what the fuck did I just watch? Knights of Guinevere.
Oh.
Oh, if you know Glitch
Yeah.
Entertainment, no,
Oh.
knows it. Oh, apparently Lex is watching. She just texted me, "No Sam, no trailers." Yes, we're gonna talk about trailers. So I like Glitch Entertainment. I really like the Amazing Digital Circus. I've liked what I've seen of Murder Drones, though I haven't watched a whole lot of it. I saw that is the guy who does Gravity Falls or Steven Universe, like one of those beloved animated shows, is doing Knights of Guinevere.
I
I'm
thought it was
in.
Owl House.
Do what?
Owl
Al,
House?
you're right. It was Owl House, and I'm in. I'm not gonna spoil anything. Let's just say there's more going on than the image you see on screen, and I encourage everyone to watch this little.
It's 40 seconds, guys. Go on.
It's just 40 seconds. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Um,
What you see on the screen is exactly what's happening.
yes,
Exactly.
I, my only basis for their previous work, that I've actually had a lot going on, is the Amazing Digital Circus. Based off of that, this could be amazing because the Amazing Digital Circus is awesome. Oh my god, I have never seen a series like on a dime, just at the snap of your finger, go from existential dread fucked up to one of the most wholesome and relatable things. And I'm just like, damn, if a series could do that, I am excited for the potential of Knights of Guinevere. Like this is the most excited I think I've been for something princess adjacent in a while.
When I first saw the name, I thought like, oh, is this going to some King Art? I think some King Arthur, like lore kind of stuff. Because
Yeah.
in the original lore, if I remember correctly, Arthur actually had a. So Arthur's wife is named Guinevere,
Yes.
if I remember correctly. But he actually had a he either had a wife or a fiance before Guinevere named Guinevere. I'm not joking.
Uh,
It was an I and E kind of situation here, but she
oh,
died. Like she like in I can't remember exactly what, like it was like from an illness or in her sleep or something like that. Um, but yeah, now I was like, okay, is this some King Arthur, like what if scenario, like side lore kind of thing, and like, oh, this is something entirely different. Never mind. I'm just gonna throw King Arthur out the window for now.
this is something very special. Let's call it special. All right. Oh, I don't. All I can say on this one is go watch it. It's a 40-second teaser. I can't show it here. But go watch it. Yeah, it's everything is fine. Anyway, but the next trailer that I'm gonna okay. This is the one that I thought I put first. Last of Us season 2. It looks good. I don't know
Oh
what else
man.
to say about it.
As far as I understand, so have you seen the first season?
Yes, and my stance on
I'm guessing
this,
that left off where where the first game did.
more or less.
Because I haven't seen very much of the show, but I've played the first game all the way through
Yeah. So
on your PlayStation.
I know. I still technically own Last of Us. I just haven't played it. Well, no, that's not true anymore. I played a little bit of it, but I know the story, and that's part of the reason I haven't fully played it. Now, my stance on the show hasn't changed. It it is, from what I've seen, it is good, but the problem is the show being good with with the specific game it's based off of, it feels kind of cheating because the game is already very cinematic and story based anyway. It already is kind of like a show or a movie anyway.
Well, I actually think The Last of Us did something extremely well, at least with the first season,
Mhm.
in that they didn't rest solely on the game.
Mm,
It had it followed the game very dedicated. It was very dedicated to the game and to the source material, and followed it pretty well what I've heard and what I've seen. But it went deeper into the story of some of the characters in which we didn't get that much information. Like the whole episode with what's the guy who plays Ron Swanson? What's his name again?
oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh shit, I can't think of the actor's name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the episode where it shows his whole story before Ellie and Ellie and Joel come to him for help. Like that's not in the game. The whole depth of his relationship with that guy isn't in the game. We don't see how much that person and his death really affected him.
Right.
Just that it did. And then we find out through some side information later that he's gay. It's not uh like the show goes a lot more in depth with the relation with, as far as I understand, with relationally setting the tone and setting the scene up to its benefit.
Yeah.
And if anything, I think from this season 2 that they're doing, hopefully they can correct the issues that's wrong with the second game.
So that is an
Because
interesting thing that I've read. I haven't, again, I've only barely played the first one. I know very little about the second one. I've been avoiding spoilers on that intentionally. So I don't want to pass judgment on it until I get to play both. But I've heard people confused about the season 2 stuff because they can't tell if either they're going to go in a different direction or if they're kind of doing a mulligan on the story. Because everything looks almost right, but like there's some story bits that feel a bit like maybe this happens at a different location. Like something is not quite right, but it doesn't look bad. So as far as lore implications, how it could be different, I don't know specifics. I've heard that that's possible, but again, like just I could only look at this from a general sense. And as a show, just like with season 1, I mean, it looks good. I mean, the actors are obviously doing great. I oh man, Pedro Pascal. Like I have a bit. Like
The man can
most.
do no wrong as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah,
he's just he just he's gold. He's Midas.
if you need convincing why Pedro Pascal is amazing, watch The Unbearable Weight of a Massive Talent. Was just the scene of him and Nicolas Cage in the car and just that big goofy goober smile he gives Nicolas Cage. That is everything you need to know about that man and why he's perfect for every role. uh and I don't have a whole lot to say about this specifically. And actually we could linger if you have other thoughts about this. We should have just gone to an ad break. I'm gonna if you want to leave.
No, no, I have no other thoughts. It, I just, I hope they use this just that I hope they use this opportunity to fix the issues with the that exist with the story of the second game. But um, there's also a chance that they can take the things that are done right and really really hype bring them up as well. But you know that's up to their ability to make a series.
Yeah.
It's up to them.
Right. I guess move on from that.
Ad break.
Yeah. During the ad break, just because Freakier Friday. This trailer makes me sad. Who asked for this?
uh, no idea. I know I didn't.
Okay. To be fair, this looks of the same quality as a lot of the Disney Channel movies from yesteryear. Like you know the ones from the early 2000s, late
Yeah,
90s. Like this looks
heavily
of
live action.
yeah, it looks of that same quality where there's going to be an audience for that. It looks like it's harkening back to that.
Yeah,
And to that end, I am fine with it. I'm fine with it existing. I'm also biased against it because when I see this movie trailer, just like, oh, this looks just kind of dumb. I'm a little sad because there's a small part of me that's just like, why couldn't Jamie Lee Curtis play Dr. Kureha in fucking One Piece? Damn it! Why does she have to do
I thought she
this?
was.
Nope, she's not. She was in talks, but yeah, you now understand my disappointment. I They did get somebody else. The voice actress for Taranga Leela in Futurama. Can't think of her name, but she looks the part. So if anyone else could do it, she'll do it justice. But Jamie Jamie Lee Curtis though is like the quintessential Dr. Kureha. If you've read One Piece, if you know, you know. But no, like there's a small part of me that looks at this
I think
trailer.
she could do it.
Yeah, like there's a small part of me that sees the Freakier Friday trailer that's always going to be a little biased against it because I'm just like, you turned down One Piece for this, Jamie. Damn it. And I'm also mad because again, this doesn't look awful. It just looks kind of like a family movie.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Definitely not our usual wheelhouse, I guess you could say.
yeah, it's just not my wheelhouse. Nothing about this looks awful. Nothing about this looks offensive. It just looks like, yeah, it looks like a kids movie. I there's I can appreciate that they've gotten seem to replicate that tone from those kind of early Disney movies. I think that's going to play a huge role in it, just replicating that kind of tone. But and hell, for all we know, this could be like a passion project of both Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, just something they really, really wanted to do.
On a side note, it's good to see Lindsay Lohan again, I guess.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, she's doing okay, I guess. Looks like, you know?
and if no one's given her shit that I could tell, and that's great. Because I'm pretty sure after Robert Downey Jr. fucking killed it as Iron Man, I'm pretty sure any talks about like celebrities with drug problems unable to make a comeback went down the fucking drain. Lindsay Lohan had her own problems, and she has been quiet for a long time. And now she's back, and I was like, oh, okay, she's acting again. She doesn't look like she's doing bad. Like she clearly had
Yeah.
some good direction. Like and honestly, like saying that out loud, it makes me realize what this movie probably is, and it does make it really harder to really shit on this movie. Is I this more than anything might just be how Lindsay Lohan got her groove back, and we might see like a resurgence of Lindsay Lohan and other things, just attempting to act once more. We'll see. Nothing about it looks awful. I'm just a little salty because Jamie Lee Curtis did this instead of One Piece, but that's my nerd rage. That has no bearing on the quality of the movie.
Yeah.
Now, the next trailers to talk about, I think I'll have just whoa, I have words. But first, a good word: Devil May Cry animation on Netflix.
Woo.
Did you get a '90s boner when you watched that too?
I mean, not really a 90s boner because unfortunately I never really got to play a Devil May Cry as it
Oh, neither have
as a
I.
youngin.
It is just from the music.
Uh, but the music, honestly, the music I only recently got into too, and by recently I mean like in the past like decade. But uh, but no, it looked good. The music was good. The tone was good. The action looked good. The snarkiness of Dante was definitely there.
Virgil's
Which
so
is
broken. He's not broken. He's lore accurate. Dude, I can't. I was like, I've never. The closest thing I've played to a Devil May Cry game. Oh, it's that recent rhythm action game. Oh fuck, what was it called? It's in my Steam library. I'm gonna look this. I'm gonna look this up just because I'm a.
I dare you.
It's one of those things. As soon as I see the name for it, I'm gonna know. It was like a rhythm action game. No, it was not South Park. Get that shit out of here. Let's see. What was it? I don't want to like uh kill it for. I just. I'm only gonna look like another second. Let's see. It was a rhythm game. Hi-Fi Rush. Thank you. Okay, that's the closest I've come to playing a Devil May Cry game. Apparently, they all play like Hi-Fi Rush. Um,
Mm.
I don't know much about the tone. I just I'm a fan of good animation, and I saw this one and heard the like Limp Bizkit and stuff in the trailer, and like suddenly I was wearing a backwards facing ball cap, sunglasses, and drinking out of a little cup with the blue and purple swirls on it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It just manifested. I don't know what it was. It just, So it made me feel nostalgic for a game I never played. It's the power of music. Uh, I I want to talk about this one more as like because this one does seem to have a steady release of like trailer. the okay, I want to say this as clearly as possible because you watched the trailer for this, right?
Yes.
And how just weird and raunchy and just out of nowhere crude it was.
Yeah.
The 70s movie is that. Is just
Huh.
yeah. So just based off of that trailer, faithful adaptation in terms of tone. If you're gonna see this movie, you hear them talking about specials at their chicken restaurant menu, and they're talking about like we're gonna serve the big cock, and they just see a very tall chicken sandwich and like two rolls next to it, making it look like a cock and balls. If you see that and you're gonna start taking this movie seriously, or just you're gonna judge like, oh, it's so crass. Congratulations,
Honestly, as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, it's this type of
you're
movie."
right.
Yeah, I thought
I'm saying
when it
that because
mentioned
it's
Toxic Avenger, for some reason, I was like, "Oh, is this like a new Marvel property?"
no,
But
God no.
as soon as I saw that, the big cock, it's just the giant ass chicken sandwich with two things that lumps of mashed potatoes. I'm like, okay, no, it's not.
You, dude, if Toxic Avenger cameos in fucking Secret Wars, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. It's Peter Dinklage, which that's also so wild to me. That's Peter Dinklage. The image on screen is Peter Dinklage. And maybe I'm like gaslighting myself and thinking about this, but there's this movie, the two main stars were Peter Dinklage and Elijah Wood. I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure at one point they kind of pitched the reverse where Elijah Wood was the toxic or the toxic Avenger and Peter Dinklage was the bad guy. And now we have this. Maybe I'm misremembering, but now we have Peter Dinklage as the toxic Avenger, and oh my god, he looks awesome. Like I don't know what else they could do to make that weird ass design of Toxie look modern and grody. Oh, I am I'm gonna get the same kind of enjoyment out of this that I got from like Werewolf Cop and fucking Kung Fury. I'm gonna get that same level of
Oh
enjoyment.
man, oh yeah.
I am here for it. Oh my god. I'm just a guy with a mop and just its fucking chin goes off. It's like, oh, I can't wait for this freaking thing to come out. I'm gonna weird everybody out with how much I enjoy this movie. I already have coworkers looking at me weird because I don't like some movies they like, but deal with it. I can't think of anything else to say other than or I get without getting lost and gushing about just how this movie just weirdly looks good. You think of anything or just
head, head empty.
all
Just
right. Head
that's
empty.
it's just
Head empty. What the heck?
what the heck, just I have no thoughts on it.
All
Just it
right.
looks like a weird ass show, a weird ass movie, but like in super gory. But then again, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Now now this movie's getting this last trailer on the docket. Um we got to talk about it. Lilo and Stitch.
Doing.
Okay.
Ah,
Now I'm going to tell you something because this and I see what Alexa is texting me, Sam. No, no. We're gonna talk about it. Okay. Here's a hard truth about this movie or about this trailer. This trailer is getting a better general reception than any of the previous Disney live action trailers. To a certain level, I can see why. At a certain point, there's a lot of things, and I say this because like Lilo and Stitch might be one of my favorite animated Disney films, so I am holding them to a high standard to get this shit right, even if you see it as not fair. Um, One thing that I will also say in defense of this movie, there's a lot of people like dogging on the actress who played Nani for very stupid reasons. If you're going to dog her because she's not thick enough, get back on Reddit. This movie isn't about that. Fuck off. If you're going to dog her for not being Hawaiian enough, you can fuck right off even further away. The actress is from the Philippines. I don't know what fucking more you want. Like, of all the things in the trailer that seemed off or wrong, Nani was not one of those things.
No, absolutely not.
That being said, I will also acknowledge that Stitch doesn't look awful.
No.
And I also greatly appreciate that a lot of the aliens, like the Grand Chancellor and everyone else, seems to have retained their original design. I like that a lot. It tells me they're not going to try too hard to over design certain things. It's just a one-to-one translation. That's all it needs to be. But there are changes in this movie. You could tell from the trailer. And some of the changes I don't mind, some of the changes I don't like, and there's one element in this movie or in this trailer that I personally no I don't think anyone's talking about it, but I don't see it. It's not hitting for me. Before I get into like my little rants, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Um. So for one, that whole spiel you mentioned about the actress playing Nani,
Yeah,
basically repeat that for me.
yeah,
I saw no issue with her.
yeah.
Uh, I saw no huge problems right off the bat. I did see some changes. What I know one change I was thrown off by, but after thinking about it, I feel like it's a good change. Um,
Which one?
that the scientist who made Stitch and the mosquito activists, I can't remember their names.
Pleakley and Jumba and how they have human
Yeah,
disguises.
they have human disguises. I feel like that is like at first I was thrown off by it, but at the same time, I kind of appreciate it because it's not just, oh, let's put a wig on Bleakley and a mustache on Jumba, and then I can blend in seamlessly with human society. You know, despite Jumba having three eyes and Bleakley having one massive one and no nose or ears. You
So
know, like I feel like, especially if aliens have been to Earth before, and have all this higher level technology, having disguises is one that is honestly quite a small one. It's
yes,
quite a small technological leap, and it makes sense they would have disguises, especially since Earth is supposedly a nature reserve in which they're not supposed to disturb the locals.
Lex is texting me instead of putting in chat, and she's like her text can basically be equated to directed at you, going, "But that's the point, re." Okay, so I am kind of
No,
in
so
between.
I honestly I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay with it because from what it looks like, Jumba at the very least has no problem with fucking turning off Bleakley's disguise. He's like, fuck it, I don't care about any of these things. I just want my experiment back so I can get to work making him better
Yeah,
and do what I want. Which was his whole shtick in the first movie. At least at the very beginning, he didn't give a damn about
Le-
what Stitch did because it just proved it proved his prowess, his ability to create the ultimate, destructive force. And it wasn't until later when they started doing things other than what he wanted that it was like, okay, this is a problem slash interesting to see. So I'm okay with them having fucking disguises. That makes sense. It's not too big a leap. It's not too big a change.
yeah, okay.
Especially if the disguises can just be turned off, it can be disrupted. Because then that adds that whole thing of especially the whole water scene, from the original movie where Stitch almost drowns and almost drowns Lilo. You know, like that's fun. That's that whole scene. That could be where the skies just come off because they're in the water and they can't be disrupted with constant contact with. I don't know. There's a whole bag of things to unload there that where they can go.
So
My problem, my first main problem is with the actress playing Lilo. Not that she's doing a bad job from what I've seen.
thank
It's
you.
just it's just that in the original film, Lilo, the voice actress for Lilo did a great job. She did a kick-ass job of being this weird ass little girl who didn't sound forced. It was okay. This little girl. She's weird as fuck, but at the same time, she's just a little girl, and she just wants a friend. Whereas this girl sounds like She's just reading lines. It's not this girl. She's not.
Yeah,
She at this point doesn't have the acting chops, I guess you could say, to put herself into the character
right.
and become Lilo. You
So
know?
I get what you're saying. So to address the Blakely Jumba human disguises first, I'm kind of right between you and Lex. On one hand, from a storytelling perspective, you are right. It makes sense for them to have at least some level of disguise on this planet, especially because it's revealed at the end of the movie they know about it. But on the other hand, if you rewatch the original animated movie, which you should, it's an amazing movie, part of the comedy of that was like, and granted it was more prevalent in the show, is the locals didn't really treat Pleakley and Jumba normally. They almost had this knowing expression like, why are these aliens just dressed up as humans but still just kind of service them anyway, and they just thought their disguises were working. It created this that was kind of the surrealist comedy around. So it's basically a trade-off. Like, you're losing that element of comedy, but you're gaining something that's more cohesive. So that whole of them having human disguises, because as you pointed out, they could be easily turned off and likely will be turned off at certain points in the movie. I can live with that. I can live with that change, especially because in the background, that was a cost-saving measure, almost guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
So,
Uh
so I
Definitely, definitely.
in for
There was
the
one other thing that I saw that that bothered me, but I can't remember exactly.
There's one thing that bothered me, and I'm going to talk about that last.
But
But
but go ahead and go on your rant.
so I agree with you with Lilo that she's kind of. My problem isn't so much with how she reads her lines. The reason that Lilo and Stitch worked, and it is because Lilo is a troubled kid. She's a weird fucking kid. When you really go back to watch it, she is a wild fucking kid. She is the kind of kid who will start a fist fight at a hula class because someone said a kind of mean thing. She is a kid who will just bite people randomly. She is a kid who feeds goldfish peanut butter and sandwiches. Like she's a weird, out there, crazy kid who listens to Elvis, watches monster movies, and acts out. And that's the whole reason she gets along with Stitch. In their own different ways, they are acting out because they don't have this kind, and they could form this kind of bond together, and they kind of found each other. That's why it worked in that movie. She's the fuck around and find out type, yeah. But with this live action, part of it is the line delivery, but I hope that it's just the cutesy scenes we're seeing and no one's talking about it. But I just don't see this girl playing Lilo as the fuck around and find out crazy, screamy, bitey girl. I see her as just kind of a cute kid.
Cute little girl
Right.
who found a quote unquote a heavy quotation marks dog.
Right. Like,
It's just that's not the whole story of Lilo and Stitch. It's that these two weirdos
yeah,
who were both hurt in their own ways found each other and healed each other.
right. Like the like Stitch, that's the weird thing. It's kind of bad. It feels so backwards in my head. I was worried about them doing Stitch right. I can't think of anything god awful with their portrayal of Stitch. It's honestly their portrayal of Lilo that I'm starting to have more problems with. Like,
Ugh.
and this is not against the little girl. This is not against that girl acting as Lilo.
No, definitely not. They like I don't know if this little girl has any other acting under her belt, but hey, like if her if her first acting job is being freaking Lilo,
Now,
oh my gosh, my heart goes out to that little girl.
absolutely. And also, she has big shoes to fill out. I was talking to Alex about this earlier in the week, and although if you knew this, the actress who voice acted Lilo in the original, you know what other roles she did that make a whole lot of fucking sense when you realize what like how kind of girl Lilo was? She played Samara in The Ring.
Well, shoot.
And suddenly everything makes sense. So, but like I just don't get that with Lilo. Now the other thing that bugs me about the trailer, like Lilo bugs me. I'm going to go see this movie in theaters. I want this to be good, and there's a lot in this trailer they did not show. Like we don't see Gant 2. We don't see a lot of scenes in space. We don't see a lot of these other like little like later scenes. So I'm holding out hope that this girl maybe is like this out there girl, and they just kind of showed the cutesy scenes in the trailer. I am holding out hope. Also, side note, and my prediction for this movie, there's going to be an after credits that teases hamster veal and the other experiments. It just will happen. But the other thing that bugs me, and this actually might bug me more than the actress who plays Lilo, there's a bit of a throwaway scene in the trailer where it shows Cobra Bubbles, and it shows
Yeah,
Cobra Bubbles reporting for duty. I hate that. I hate that scene
yeah, hundred
because
percent.
we don't know Cobra Bubbles an agent until the end of the movie. And if you are going to just have him have his own story and spoil him being a secret agent, that removes so much agency and so much drama from the sisters and Stitch,
And so much surprise.
and so much surprise. Like it's just it's a twist. It legitimately is a twist in the movie. Like Cobra Bubbles revealing he's Cobra Bubbles in the and what he is in the beginning of the movie or halfway through. And I'm gonna do spoilers for all the movies here, so be warned. But like to me, that's the equivalent of seeing the Statue of Liberty in Planet of the Apes right when they land. like, yeah, the rest of the movie still happens, but it's a hell of a lot less impactful now, isn't it?
Mhm.
The guy who spills his ice cream is no longer a fat sunburnt white guy. Okay, so that guy, he is a change that does not bug me because now he's just a Hawaiian guy. He's no longer a tourist. He's a Hawaiian guy. He's now the shaved ice guy. There's a lot of changes in this movie. That's one that really doesn't bug me at all because there's a reason for it. Shaved ice is a more popular dessert in Hawaii, so they wanted it to be more traditionally Hawaiian. On that front, it's a little change that means nothing, but there's like a reason, a cultural reason for it. So you know what? You get a pass for that. I'm not gonna be mad at that one. I'm just, hey, you had a reason,
I recognize what the guy was that
right?
what the guy was playing
Right, and
immediately.
plus
Oh,
we all
it's
know
the
what he's
that guy.
supposed to be
He dropped his
anyway.
ice
So,
cream.
right,
It's the that guy who dropped his ice cream whenever it's like when weird shit happens every
right.
time.
We all register what he's supposed
That
to
SCP,
be.
got it.
It's like we all register exactly what he's supposed to be. I don't know. It's just I I understand why people are in general people are like, "Oh, this looks so good. This looks good." I think people are looking only at Stitch in this trailer. But the truth of it is that there is more to this movie than just Stitch. It's Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
And everything about like Lilo and Cobra Bubbles, like some people are legit mad about like what the fuck. Yeah, people who are mad about that. But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Lilo. And this isn't an actor thing. First off, the actor who played Cobra Bubbles looks fine to me. He looks the part. People are like, oh, they should have cast Terry Crews. Should they have though?
I
Should
don't think nothing not against Terry Crews because Terry Crews is a great actor, extremely funny. I'm not sure this is the proper right role for him to be the because we don't need someone who's like is bombastic as Terry Crews is. We need someone who is that
he's very serious.
uh very serious, very
Like
uh
it's
yeah, very calm, very in control.
yeah.
All like kind of always.
Like you want someone who can legitimately pass as both a child protective service officer and a government agent seamlessly.
Yes.
And gonna be honest, if you watch the original again, Cobra Bubbles completely matches that. It's
Yes.
especially like this little conversation he has with Nani, like about like how
Oh
he
yeah.
did say like he doesn't want to take Lilo away, he doesn't want to do this, he has to given the
But
certain
he's seen it time and time again, and he has his job to do to protect Lilo.
yeah.
It's uh, it's he is not he is not a villain.
Yeah.
Uh, he is an antagonistic force, but he's not an antagonist.
Yes. And that's the thing I'm actually curious about the movie that if you watch the first movie again, the closest thing we have to a villain in question marks is Gantu. But even then, Gantu's not a villain. He's literally just doing his job. He's a cop. In
Yeah,
truth, Lilo and Stitch doesn't really have a villain. It just has life and
it's
these
drama.
yeah. It
It's situation.
like the series doesn't have a villain until Hamsterville shows up in the show. And even then, he's a very comedic villain. It's I want this to be good, and like there's and I'll also say there's things that look good. The actress they got to play Nani, I'm sorry, I just look at her like she's of all the other things they got right, she's doing fine. Visually it
She
looks
played on it.
yeah, it looks great. I love like the shots they get and all the different scenery shots of Hawaii. I love the few shots we get in space. I do want to see more of that. I want to see how they expand upon space. I'm just my thought about this movie is it will be more Stitch focus than Lilo and Stitch. and I it won't strike that perfect balance that the original actually did. So I worry for this movie. I want it to be good,
Oh
but
yeah.
that trailer it didn't fully sell me on it. And I'm also going to say there is the high possibility they are changing a lot. Because I didn't see it. I watched some reviews on Snow White because I have no interest in seeing live action Snow White. But apparently, do you remember where the original Snow White ended? Like the original animated movie?
It ended like location wise, or like how it ended.
Yeah, like how it ended in the story.
I remember from the original animated movie how it ended is the evil stepmother went after Snow White and poisoned the apple. Snow White got poisoned. The dwarves chased the stepmother off a cliff and she fell. And then they started holding the funeral there, and then Prince Charming comes up, kisses her, uh, and she's brought back, and the dwarves celebrate as Snow White and Prince Charming ride off to the sunset together. That's how I remember it ending.
Okay, so you're mostly right. Like, well, no, you're actually pretty much completely right. So the way the live action does it is the dwarfs do not push her off the cliff, and everything you just described is like the first half of the movie.
What?
Exactly. Like knowing that it makes it reinforce. I do not want to see this live action Snow White, and it explains why some of the scenes in that trailer were so off. Like Snow White marching into the kingdom, going, "I'm come to take this kingdom back," and they're like, "What the fuck?" Like, it does not feel like Snow White at all. It that movie's existence makes me more worried for Lilo and Stitch and what they could change than anything. Like, I want to believe this movie could be good, but it's well, everyone else seems to be like, oh,
If we're
this,
thinking,
yeah, it
we're
does,
thinking about it from a if we're just looking at the facts, the stepmother, with it being her stepmother, then it's very possible. Yet, it very most likely possible that yes, Snow White has royal blood in her veins. Okay, fine. But she was raised, as far as I could tell, and remember, she was raised as a freaking maid.
yeah. So, like,
and, and and while she may, after hearing that she's a daughter of royalty, wants to go in and take back her crown from the evil stepmother and everything, that her character, so she wouldn't care about that.
right,
She found incredible joy in keeping the home, of like cooking, cleaning, all that stuff. Uh,
like, and that's what
of
that's
taking care of people. That she found joy and pride in that,
that's
and having peace and being the queen, and which may spell an end to the whole whole relationship technically between her and Prince Charming kind of thing. I don't know his name. I don't think he ever had a name besides
I think it's just Prince
the Prince
Charming
Charming
or
character.
well,
uh, but it's like, uh, but that's just how what I can think of from what you just told me is
it feels wrong.
it feels wrong. Like they're trying they're going rogue.
Right. And that's
They
I
just drove off the track and they're driving towards the baseball field.
see, and that's what makes me worried about this movie. Is like I want this to. I know I talk a lot of smack about what remakes should be. Like, should they be a shot for shot? Should they be different? I to some degree, I want this to start. I want the skeleton, like the framework of this movie, to be shot for shot remake, but throw in things that are maybe you couldn't do in the original, or expand on a few scenes that could use an extra bit of love. Like there's a deleted scene from the animated one that makes me cry. And it kind of goes into why Lilo feeds Pudge the fish. And it basically is the whole, it's actually like a coping thing for her because she thinks Pudge the fish can control storms, and she's feeding Pudge the fish to appease him because their parents died in a car crash during a storm. And they cut
Wait,
that, and then they cut that exposition because it's really heavy for this kind of movie, and like, damn. like,
yeah, it's really heavy, but same time, it as a kid, you don't really understand. It's just like, oh wow, that's weird.
right.
But as an adult, yeah, that's really like, oh fuck, that's really weird, but also, oh,
Yeah.
it's
Lilo,
a weird little girl.
yeah. Lilo and Stitch is a movie that when you watch it as a kid, you're laughing at the aliens, and like deep down you understand there's like something heavy going on there. You just, so you're quiet, but you don't quite grasp what the emotions. But as you get older, everything sinks in. Everything's like the older you get, the more you cry at Lilo and Stitch. Like that's why the movie works so well. Is it's a,
Oh yeah,
how you interpret the movie almost grows with you. I want this movie to do that. It's just that trailer isn't, it's not convincing me they are. I'm still going to see it in theaters. The cruel truth is people have said that this looks like the best of the Disney live action remakes. Here's the thing. That's not a high bar. We could, you can like the Disney live action remakes all you want, but facts are facts. That's not a high bar. It's not this crowning achievement for it to look better than Lion King. Correction, the air quotes live action Lion King. And it again, it does, the cinematography looks great. Like some of the comedy around Stitch seems to be on point. The acting isn't terrible for the most part. It's just there's the little changes they're making and just some of the how they're interpreting certain characters. It makes me worry they're losing the heart of this movie, and I hope they're not. I don't know. Well, that concludes my little TED talk about Lilo and Stitch. You got anything you else want to say about it?
uh, wait, we're still talking about Lilo and Stitch. I thought we moved on.
Oh, I use Snow White as a kind of an example about Lilo and Stitch and why I'm kind of that movie and how much
uh,
they changed in that is a big factor as to why I'm not
yeah.
confident in what Lilo and Stitch can be, but I'm willing to give it a chance. Is my favorite thing to happen in movies is if I go into a movie expecting it to suck and then just it blows me away with how good it is, like it's gonna leave an impression because that has happened before. I was like, and actually that's when I could talk about in the main segment. But yeah, this is the last trailer we talk about before I talk about like new and recent stuff. But I guess is there anything else you want to say about Lilo and Stitch?
No, just I have the same hopes as you do. I hope we're wrong.
Yeah,
That we just saw the just bad trailer stuff,
yeah.
bad trailer cuts of the actress for Lilo. That's I'm hoping.
And if you disagree and you think it looks good, you're not alone. A lot of people say it looks good and they're looking at Stitch and they go, "Oh, it looks so funny." I'm looking at both Lilo and Stitch, and just Lilo hasn't sold me. But moving on from that, new and recent films. I think it's a little more upbeat. This segment is for movies that either are new in theaters or movies that are like you've seen for the first time you think are worth talking about. They don't necessarily have to relate to our main topic, but just things you have seen recently that seem worth to talk about. I could think of two. Have you seen anything recently that you might want to recently you want to talk about real quick before we get to our main topic?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Fortunately, no.
I'll keep mine quick because I watched both of mine on Netflix on a whim. One I watched Craven the Hunter. It's
Oh,
bad. It's just not as bad as you think.
good, bad, or bad?
It's just dumb.
Just bad. Okay.
Yeah. The, okay, this isn't a spoiler because it's in the advertising, but Rhino's in the movie, and Rhino is like so weird to me. I liked him when he wasn't transformed more than when he was, and that feels so backwards to me.
Mm.
But they made him like this actually intimidating crime boss.
Instead of the hammy, jokey kind of boss.
Yeah, he's not like he's not the Russian dipshit. He's like
In the Rhino mech.
yeah, I am the Rhino. No, he's not that. Um, I won't go into like his. I will a little bit because it doesn't make any fucking sense. So he found like this guy in New York, which he is only mentioned twice, but we never explored this person, even though holy shit, he's like, yeah, it's this experimental procedure to make my skin indestructible, and like, but it causes me a lot of great pain. So he basically always has a backpack with medicine that's like fed directly via IV to his side, and if he removes it, he like begins to a slow transformation into the Rhino, and then he has to immediately re-administer himself, and he has like a huge supply of this stuff. But like he emphasizes, my skin is indestructible. It tanks bullets, but don't worry, you can cut it with a knife.
That's not indestructible.
Yeah, nothing about Rhino makes sense. It's like in the last fight, suddenly the movie forgot about that little tidbit, so he could fight Craven on equal terms. It was so dumb.
Uh,
It was so dumb. And Craven is superhuman-ish. I hate, yeah, things Sony. That's how I feel about that movie. It's dumb. It's not that bad. It's not good. Like Craven himself is the best part of the movie because one of the good parts of Craven the Hunter is there is the scene where Craven has to fight off some like mafia types who are tracked him down to his little hunting lodge, and the way he fights them off is actually like a hunter. Like not he is there like sneaking up on them, going like full solid snake on like pulling them on the bushes, and like throwing traps and using pre-activated traps. Like on a whim, he's actually hunting these people sent to kill him. And the way they do that sequence was pretty fucking awesome. I'm gonna give that movie props. That sequence was fucking awesome. But that's about it. Like this movie makes me mad though because at the end of Craven the Hunter, they tease the chameleon, and in all of the fucking movies to get the chameleon and make him look comic accurate. Why the fuck is it this one? What when everyone else looks so fucking weird and then the chameleon pops up, I actually look better than everyone. I'm now comic accurate. What the fuck? This is the weird kind of middle finger at the end of that movie, in a way. Oh, it's dumb. But fortunately, I watched something that is much, much better that people are bashing, but don't listen to the haters. The movie's fun. It has its problems, but it was an enjoyable time. Called Electric State.
I've heard things about this movie.
So, okay, bad stuff out of the way first, because I'm not going to pretend this movie is perfect. Um, the theme, the message, like the primary message of the movie, can be a little on the nose at times. Like you know exactly what the theme of the movie is, what message they're trying to convey, and some of the dialogue about it can be a little. We get it. So that's a bit of a writing faux pas in the movie. And there are two scenes in particular that really I just don't like them. One, because it makes the main one happens fairly early on that makes the main actors look so stupid, and one that happens like right at the end, like the last few seconds that I will not spoil, but I do not like it because I feel it betrays certain character certain character developments in the movie itself. But that's going
Mm.
to involve spoilers. The I will kind of spoil the the first scene that bugs me. I won't spoil like who's chasing who, but there's a scene where the main actors, they're the main heroes for the movie, played by Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown. They are running from someone chasing them. Not gonna say who or why, but they have this gun, this badass gun. The movie goes out of its way to use camera shots, framing devices, and everything to point out this guy has a badass gun. It's a very dangerous gun. He's going to use this gun to kill them. Watch out for this gun. At some point, through some means, they end up trapping this dude in in this big construction claw. He drops the gun. It zooms in on the gun. The gun slides towards the heroes. They ignore the gun. The villain just escapes and gets the gun. And it annoys the piss out of me. It's like, why are you gonna
Chekhov is crying.
you're gonna put so much fucking focus on he has this gun and he dropped the gun and it slid towards the heroes only for it to lead to nothing. I that scene bugged me. However, so that all being said, those are legitimate problems I have with the movie on the noise messaging, and there's that one scene that's kind of it looks great, dude. Like, like even if the message is obvious, it's portrayed in a good way. The effects are top notch. You get to see fucking Mr. Peanut shank a bitch. I got to see
I
it.
did hear they spent most of their budget on the Mr. Peanut robot.
Oh, dude, you could tell. Like, and dude, I got to see a taco play Flight of the Valkyries on piano. I love this movie. I I had this I am so glad I saw this movie. I encourage everyone to watch this movie. Know that there are scenes that are a bit dumb. It's not a perfect film, but I watched this movie and I got out thinking I really fucking wish I could have seen this in theaters. God damn it. Cuz it was a great movie.
Good to hear.
And I know one of the criticisms I heard about it is like the budget is God, it has such a huge budget for these kind of effects. So, okay, budget is no longer a reason to hate on a movie. Big budget doesn't equal bad. It's about how you use the budget, not how much money you have. This movie
Mhm.
used the budget well. They use a lot of locations, a lot of props, a lot of visual effects, and they all look good. Like they used every penny. So yeah, the budget and how they used it isn't necessarily a problem with this movie.
I don't know, man. I think it's entirely a problem, and should be the main point of why you should never watch the movie at all.
Son of a bitch. But no, my TED talk on recent films. You can watch Craven the Hunter if you go in knowing it's dumb. It's not as bad as some would have you believe, but it is dumb. Yeah, just another media grifter talking point that doesn't mean jack. Right? It doesn't. Like my biggest pet peeve with talking about movies is, or just anything really. If you're gonna criticize a movie or a game or a book or anything, be fair, be honest. Um, Electric State is flawed. It's not a 10 out of 10 movie. Some of it's pretty fucking cheesy, but it's still a good movie worth your time. Like, I, it just, we're in the aftermath where everyone has a voice and like and everyone is hard to please, but nobody wants to admit it. You know? we'll go Rich Electric stay, but that brings us to the main topic of the day. Let's have a little fun with this. What the fuck did I just watch?
Oh man. Oh.
kick
So
kick us off, Mr.
I
Chakaron.
got a movie.
Yeah.
That's actually what I've been kind of focused on, trying to find this damn movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not been able to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'd have better luck looking for it than I do, or any of our viewers here. So I watched this movie back when we still lived together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, by the way, secret lore: we were roommates once.
Whoa. I lived with a pterodactyl. My life was in danger at all
And I live a
times.
small kaiju.
Yes. I was the one in danger. Figure that out.
Strange times. But so it was a movie on Hulu. It was a random, just like, okay, this looks interesting. Let's see what this is about. And what the movie was about uh was that this guy was this kind of nerdy, scrawny looking guy, uh go went on vacation to get away from his super controlling mother. Um and while on vacation, he meets this girl who's odd, but odd in a way that he can relate to. And but and it goes from there. Now, spoiler warning. Um, Basically, it's kind of a slasher slash gore film with some psychological drama, because basically the mother, like, so what this guy does over the course of the film is multiple times he brings in a prostitute, then knocks her out, brings the mother up on basically FaceTime on the laptop, and then she instructs him how to kill the girl, kill the prostitute, kind of thing, and all this other stuff. He does this a few times while getting further in this really quote unquote relationship with the girl he meets on quote, unquote, on vacation, and then at one point she disappears, and he goes on a bigger rampage, and basically, as well as tells his mom, like fuck you, I'm not gonna do what you tell me anymore, and starts murdering a bunch of people. And it's very and and towards the end, the girl returns. Turns out the strange stuff that the reason why she's so strange is she used to be part of a cult,
I think I
and they had
found the
found her.
movie.
Oh, really? What's it called?
As you described it, I was like looking up details about it, and I found someone look up your exact description on Reddit. Is the movie called Who's Watching Oliver?
Let me take a look here. Who's watching Oliver? Yes, who's watching Oliver? Yes, that's it. That's it. Who's watching Oliver? Yes. Uh, and anyway, the guy's basically standing there like that in that apron, the cleaver, and the girl uh convinces him to stop this murderous ways, that his mother is wrong, for with all this stuff. That he doesn't have to listen to her to do this anymore. And so he stops, and have the whole love scene, all that stuff, and it goes to black,
Uh,
and then at the end though, she wakes up after their after it goes the screen goes back. She wakes up, and Oliver is has brought the laptop out again, and he's listening to mom again, and he turns around and he goes after her. I'm not describing it very well. The sheer just whiplash of the entire scene. Uh, like I'm not portraying it very well. It was a what the fuck like what the fuck did I just watch kind of thing that happened. Uh, but yeah, that's the movie that first came up when they were when, besides Toxic Avenger. Whenever I saw what the fuck did I just watch? So
so,
overall, pretty interesting movie. Kind of weird. Uh, nice little romance, but
the
also
movie
kind of really
doesn't
fucked up.
movie doesn't look like a
Huh?
romance, but I'll take your word for it.
It was some romance, like there is chemistry between the main actor and and the love interest. Like you could like uh they have a real connection. Like they have some true similarities that allow them to bond. It's just one of them's more far gone than the other, and you don't find out who till the very end. And for everyone who's watching, sorry I spoiled it, but if you want to watch it
I,
yourself, then go ahead. But you kind of can't. I can't talk about how what the fuck I just watched with this movie without describing what happened.
so when I put this on the wheel, and Griffin knows this, when I put the what the fuck that I just watched on the wheel, I had one movie in mind because when I think of I try to think of another movie I could use to talk about, and I thought of two. Well, I thought of two to talk about total. When I think of what the fuck did I just watch, on one hand, there could be a positive connotation to that, where like you don't expect anything and it just surprises, like what the fuck, that was awesome, kind of thing. The good one that I kind of thought of after the fact was the movie Dead Alive. Holy shit, holy shit, Dead Alive. I kick ass for the Lord. Kung Fu priest fighting zombies. Like you expect a fucking zombie film
That's amazing.
by Peter Jackson, and all of a sudden a kung fu priest starts punching out zombies. You have a Muppet zombie baby running around a park. You're a first person perspective of a killing zombies with a lawnmower. A giant prosthetic half rat, half old lady zombie that it's so out there. But it is crazy, but it owns its craziness. But no, I don't know if you
Quite a
remember
bit.
this, but the other movie that I have to talk about, and Griffin knows I'm going to talk about it. So it is rare for a movie to make me double take. It's even rarer for a movie to make me shut the fuck up. Like if something is happening on screen that just like all of a sudden like my mind just goes into like a short circuits, like what am I watching, what the heck, what the fuck did I just see? The only instance has happened, and I know there's multiple people in the room, and I'm 90% sure you were there, was when we were watching Beware the Blob during a party, and it got to the naked Russian Shriner in a bathtub. You remember. And while you were talking, I was looking up that scene. Griffin, you'll be pleased to know that scene is on YouTube. I'm going to be putting it in the playlist for this episode. So people will know. it has not gotten it has not made more sense with age. It's nothing about it makes sense, man. It's like, oh, a blob. First off, um, a guy is bathing with his little schnauzer. He has a big old Shriner cap on. I'm about 80% certain there's no water in the tub because I don't see any splashing. The blob creaks under the door. His first instinct is to place the dog down and to throw a sandal at it. And then while the dog is like playing tug of war with the blob on the sandal, instead of the blob just like eating it, I guess to avoid dog war. I don't fucking know. The guy just like throws the phone at his window, and it does this super stylized like, Andy Warhol style shot of just the phone going directly at the screen and shattering glass. Then it cuts to the next scene. Like, what were we supposed to glean from this exactly? Did he escape?
I thought he did because I remember there was one point where he like ran off to the darkness kind of thing.
Right.
I think he got hit by a car.
Did he? Oh my god! If he got hit by a car and I've just
Uh,
got so
he
focused,
either got hit by a car or he got arrested.
you might be right.
And they thought he was on drugs or something like that, and that's why the cops came to his house or something. I don't know.
You're right.
I only saw that movie once.
It was enough.
And it felt like a fever dream. It felt like a fever dream. Uh,
I I guess you're the fun thing about this topic, like what the fuck did I just watch? Most of the time, it reflects specific movie scenes and not whole movies.
okay. Um, damn. Like there is a movie that's come to mind then on what the fuck did I just watch? Uh, but it also kind of spoils the movie. And this movie I actually don't want to spoil because it's such a damn good movie.
So don't spoil it, but like tell us what movie will leave us like that. Because
The movie is Old Boy. Not now. Do not the one by Spike Lee. The one by Spike Lee is a travesty and should never be watched.
the 2003 South Korea one.
Yes, that movie is amazing. Uh, the drama is really good. The cinematics is absolutely fucking fantastic. There's a fight. There's this hallway fight scene that takes place all in one shot, and it is absolutely fucking awesome. It is an amazing fight scene. And I'm pretty sure a fuck ton of other movies took inspiration from just that fight, from just the hallway fight scene. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. No, I'm gonna look it up, see if it is. Because it is so damn good, and I'll send you the link if you don't want to look it up yourself. Oh, one. There we go. Yeah, hallway fight scene. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a nice 3 minutes of just fucking amazing. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
I will
but
include
the
that in in the playlist I make for it. Like this, that's
yeah,
like
the
I'm a little surprised. I was talking to Griffin
uh,
earlier. I thought it was
but
oh, good.
that's not the twist. Though that is a scene that blows my mind. Just like, oh wow, that's amazing. Uh, the twist of like, what the fuck did I just watch? Uh,
So if you don't want to spoil the twist itself,
I'm not
then
gonna spoil the twist itself. It's towards the end of the movie when it's revealed when it one uh a horrible truth, I guess you could say, is revealed.
Mhm.
A horrible fact that the main character didn't know. Um, and it changes the entire tone of the film and brings the ending into such a like uh what's called like it makes you wonder at the ending. It brings up a whole bunch of questions. It changes the entire movie. Just that one scene. And I remember when I was watching it, I went so, like I'm not the kind of who talks a lot, or I usually like to focus on a movie. But when I did, when that scene went through, my mind just went totally blank.
Mhm.
I was shocked, and it's a very good rug pull kind of situation. But it's also, I have to warn you, I have to warn people, it's really fucked up. Uh, but I still consider Old Boy one of my favorite movies. It's a damn good movie.
Hell yeah.
I would watch that movie anytime. Let's see. What's another what the fuck did I just watch? Either good or bad.
So why
Um,
you think there's one that I
yeah,
am
you go on.
I'm like I'm almost surprised you didn't bring up because I was talking to Griffin earlier, and I thought at some point you would bring up. I don't know, maybe I don't know if your thoughts on this movie are more like, well, what the fuck was that, or more just like not your cup of tea. But I honestly thought for a while that you were going to bring up Flash Gordon because I love Flash
I think
Gordon.
I did think I did think of that, but I got distracted whenever you were talking about your stuff. And yeah, Flash Gordon, it started off, it was a bit weird. And I was like, okay. The scene that turned me off Flash Gordon entirely was where he started playing football by himself.
Yeah, he escaped the
He
guards by
grabbed
playing football.
he grabbed this random thing out of nowhere to act like a football, so he could tackle through the guards while they're trying to capture him, and it fucking worked.
Flash.
And he's not like he used the football to meet himself mindset to tackle through a line of guards so he could escape. No, he ran back and forth to a room full of guards, tackling everyone along the way or slipping out of their grasp, back and forth multiple times, ran around the room. Like, he had plenty of opportunity to escape. He didn't. He was just picking up a damn. It wasn't a football. It was something vaguely football shaped, so he could be like, "Oh, I'm the quarterback. Look at me," or I'm a running back. It's just, what the actual fuck. No matter what else happened in the movie at that point, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I am fucking done with this movie. This is too stupid.
Oh,
I have to admit, though, at the time when I saw the movie, I was also really, I was not in a good place mentally.
fair. He
Uh, so that also didn't, I like that kind of piled on as well, and that gave me something to vent my frustration on. But then again, I'm glad I saw that with other people I care about who not took joy in my suffering, but allowed me to razz the movie as much as I did, and then who egged me on by razzing me back, kind of thing. It made a
yeah.
movie that if I just saw by myself how I was at that moment, it would have been an overall just negative experience.
Yeah.
But it made it the having you, Thunderheart, and I think Griffin was there, and Butcherson. All of y'all were there watching it with me, and having fun with me. That made it. I don't know. It was a good time, honestly.
Yeah. I can think of
Uh,
one other movie that kind of falls into the what the fuck, but it's not a okay,
I could think of another one too.
here's the thing. I don't know if I should do mine first or second because
No, you
mine
you go first.
well, I'm asking because like mine is it's less of a what the fuck, like the kind of like, oh, this is so weird. This one's more of a kind of esoteric. This movie clearly has meaning I don't grasp. Kind of what the fuck? It's also has let's just say it also has religious connotations.
Okay.
It's a movie. Gosh, it's a. I got to see this movie at G Fest, um, called The Great Buddha Arrival. It's literally there's this is a movie where the backstory about it is so fascinating. Like I could do a whole video about like the original backstory about how they're we almost lived in a world where the very first tokusatsu movie was actually about a giant walking Buddha statue.
Huh.
And there like there's so much like rich history and really fascinating history about what this movie could have been and the direction it could have taken. And what this movie does, this new movie it does, it takes a very meta approach to that, and it takes place in a world where the events of the movie happened, but no one talks about it. And one guy's like, "Wait, that's kind of weird. Why does no one talk about a giant Buddha statue just walking along?" It's a short film. It's like 30 minutes long.
Hmm.
One of its notable things is it's one of the last legitimate roles of Akira Takarada, who is a very acclaimed actor in Godzilla movies. But I, the thing about this movie, why it's such a what the fuck experience, at a certain point, it does start to dip into very, very esoteric religious symbolism. It's stuff
Hmm.
that I understand is religious symbolism. That like everything down to like the color of the Buddha's hands, which way they're facing, what color like the lights represent. Like everything, I can I can like just defer that everything has this deep meaning, and they're going for this weird grasp. Like everyone knows this happened, but this is like a religious event, and there's so much weird in this movie. Some of it doesn't make sense. It's a what the fuck movie to me because I could tell this is clearly not for me. This is clearly for people who are Buddhist and believe in this faith and can draw more spiritual meaning to this because this is either going to be like super meaningful or super offensive to people who are Buddhist in culture. I just look at that and just go, what the hell am I looking at? Like, clearly this means something, but what the fuck? It's it. I almost didn't talk about it, but because this is a hard movie to talk about because of the religious connotations, and I want to be respectful. I do think people should see it because it's a 30-minute movie. It is good. It's very like some of the dialogue and everything they talk about it is fascinating. And if nothing else, the story behind the original like work of the Great Buddha Arrival is fascinating. But man, just which the direction this little short film goes, and just how everything connects, it just leaves you like the fuck, man. That was an experience.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to process because I'm not in that religious faith. And and I think honestly, like I'm not a big fan of religious movies. in general. If I knew this, I honestly thought this was going to be more like surface level religious and just literally about like a giant Buddha statue that started walking around and people are like, "Oh, clearly, what does it mean?" No, it was more meta, more spiritual, much more esoteric. It's like that's man, it's worth a watch if you like the history of movies or have an an iota of interest in either film history or spiritual movies. Definitely watch it, but it's just know that there's a lot of spiritual stuff in it. It just left me confused more than anything. Yeah, it's, I don't know what else to say about it. I know.
Mm.
I feel like I brought the conversation down, but we're going from Flash Gordon to esoteric Buddhism.
No, no, you didn't bring the conversation down. It was just this. Okay, you know. Uh, let's see.
Bring it back home. What's the other movie you thought about?
It's one I've mentioned previously on this podcast, or on this series. Dinosaurs and monster birds. The fucking movie. It has the dinosaur and the monster bird,
that is,
and
listen,
the ending has nothing to do with the dinosaur and the monster bird.
that has everything
And
to do with
everyone dies.
it has everything to do with it. You need to see the extended sequence of them dying to the random ass earthquake, or else nothing makes sense.
No, it's a random ass volcanic eruption.
That movie is a guilty pleasure for me because like everything before the end is so good, and I'm going to fight for the some of the effects because before before the bird shows up, some of the shots and how they framed the actual plesiosaur were good shots. Like, and I wish it was just about the
I'm not
plesiosaur.
I'm not mad or what the fuck about that. No, sir. No, sirree. It's that damn ending. That damn ending every time. You were there. When I saw it too. You're the one who fucking showed it to me. I ranted for fucking 30 minutes about that fucking ending.
Dude, you're not the only
I
one.
got so damn mad. Heck, I'm still kind of mad.
Uh, that's thinking about that movie. That's another topic I could do for later. Like when music makes the movie, like movies that are saved by their soundtrack. And let's be real, as much as the guilty pleasure in that movie is, the soundtrack saved that damn movie. That movie's funky. Oh my
Oh
god.
man. But what's another what's another film that
Oh, dude. Like,
just blew me out of the water in one scene?
like,
Uh,
or just like maybe a scene like left you confused. And chat, chime in on this. Was there a movie that like maybe it left you like leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube or people in chat now? Is there a movie that like either left you feeling confused, maybe just maybe go what the fuck, or maybe just a scene in a movie? Like there's so many. Like this is another one of those topics that it is a bit of a rabbit hole, and I'm slowly starting to make topics that are less rabbit hole and more precise. Like there's like a set minimum number of there's a set limit to what movies to talk about. So like so for now, let's indulge ourselves a bit. Uh,
um,
one that oh wait, huh. Anything by Sid and Marty Croft. And if you're like looking at the screen, listening to words like with a raised eyebrow, um, Sid and Marty Croft. There is a good chance no one here has seen anything by Sid and Marty Croft. I had the pleasure of my mother was a school teacher and had access to a lot of children's media from like the 70s and 80s. So I had access to a lot of old shows like Big Rock Candy Mountain, Land of the Lost, and
Oh,
and my boy HR
puffin stuff.
Puffin stuff. My boy HR Puffin stuff. I love the cocaine fueled machinations of Sid and Marty Krofft. Those every fucking series they did was a drug trip, man. That the flute was talking, the dinosaur was a mayor. What the fuck is going on? When Griffin says the only things I could think of are like the Matrix or Ghost in the Shell. The first time I watched those, I kind of flew over my head a bit. Oh,
Oh yeah, the Matrix. Yeah, the Matrix was definitely like a what the fuck, like a oh what the fuck, like a good like a whoa, and then Ghost in the Shell. Uh,
I could see that, like you feeling that when you're younger, because Ghost in the Shell. Let's be honest. Let's be real. A lot of us saw a lot of certain anime like Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, probably earlier than we should have, because people put Umbrella under this big for kids umbrella, and
it's animated, so it's for kids.
and Ghost in the Shell and Cowboy Bebop are not
Ghost
for
in the Shell-
kids.
No, they're not. They're excellent, absolutely fantastic media. Not for kids. Definitely not for kids. Oh man. Oh,
So many, dude. Oh, I mentioned it earlier. Fucking Kung Fury. Talk about a movie that makes me go, "What the fuck?" But that also fills me with perpetual joy throughout the whole thing. Like I'm pretty
I
sure.
think the difference between all these other, like some of these other movies that are just full of random as shit, and Flash Gordon,
Mhm.
like the reason why I enjoy those and not Flash Gordon is, uh, like it feels like they take like the world of Kung Fury, they take it so damn seriously that makes it funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get what you mean.
While
Like,
Flash Gordon, it like the characters are taking it seriously, but the overall theme is that like look at that rascal go kind of thing. Like the music was joyful and playful kind of thing, while in Kung Fury, like someone's doing something ridiculous, it's also framed to be awesome, and and the entire like tone of it is it's awesome, even though it's what the fuck,
yeah, I
you
get
know?
what you're saying. I get what
It's
you're
like with
saying.
the it's like with the fucking and this isn't really a spoiler because it's in the damn trailer for the movie as well as in the first 5 minutes. Is when that fucking arcade machine goes fucking haywire, starts killing people, and Kung Fury ramps off a fucking hill, jump, climbs out of his car on top of his car while it's sailing through the air, and starts gunning down the arcade machine. It's just like, what the? Yeah, listen to that sentence that just came out of my mouth.
I just love the
That
beginning where it's like, "You got a permit for
that's
those
the
guns? I
first,
got your permit right here," and flips a fucking cop car with a skateboard.
yeah. Like that's the first 5 minutes.
I understand what you mean. Like with Kung Fury, like everything was a ridiculous situation they took serious. Like it was more consistent. And I will, and well, with Flash Gordon, up until that point in the movie felt like, yeah, there was some light comedy here and there, but it felt like it was taking a more generally more grounded, a serious approach. And then it just ran seemingly the pacing in which they flipped that silly switch seemed to not be consistent.
Yeah, that if it was a bit more consistent, uh, or they took it a bit more seriously, I guess I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
Like I honestly don't have that much of a problem with the latter half of Flash Gordon. Like I don't remember. I don't.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Because
the back half of Flash Gordon. Yeah, it's like okay. It's an okay movie. It's an an 80s sci-fi. It's like okay, yeah, kind of weird, but okay, sure.
Yeah.
It's still
Once it
you know what? It's just that once it got the ridiculous, silly shit out of the way, that just comes out of nowhere.
once it
And
consistently nestled into that like kind of silly sci-fi mood that it was more it felt like more at home on, then it was good. But there was like that bit kind of in the beginning going into the middle that was felt really awkward and clunky is what you're saying.
oh yeah. Um, let's see. What's I need to get this off my screen. It's disturbing.
No, you're good.
No, it's sitting the puppet stuff. I looked it up to see what this is. And they just
HR
look
puppet
at
stuff.
oh,
It makes you
okay.
good. Oh man, the drug fueled machinations of Sid and Marty Krofft. I watched that show. I am very messed up. Anyway, like
Um,
oh god, I forgot Witchy Poo was played by a guy.
let's see. Man, oh, I can't think of anything now. Dang it.
I couldn't have been all this kind of. I'm looking up something with HR puppet stuff because I know this guy was in something else. Billy, oh my god.
I know of him. Well, I kind of feel bad that a majority of of the movies I'm bringing up are well for this what the fuck thing are just like are what the fuck are negative experiences. You know, I kind of feel bad.
Sometimes they're negative. Sorry, I'm looking up an actor from HR Puppet stuff who played um the Witchy Poo, who was like the main villain, and I'm looking up like every. It was a guy. It was a guy named Billy Hayes who played Witchy Poo. So you look up this witch and though that was a dude. I looked up what else did he do? I've heard his voice somewhere else. And sure enough, he was Mother May I in Teen Titans. He played random voices in several cartoons, including like Rugrats, Duckman, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Johnny Bravo. So this
Man.
guy was like stereotypical. He played Orgok in The Black Cauldron.
Mm.
Oh my god. Sheriff Parker and then Scooby Doo Mysteries. Peter Pan and Murder She Wrote. What the fuck? uh, Agnes and the Sid and Marty Krofft Super Show. Of course, they had a Super Show. What? I'm gonna one day when people watch my show more, I'm gonna do an episode on Sid and Marty Krofft, so I could just rant about HR Puffin stuff and how they saved the day by dressing up as angels for some reason. I'm still not
Yeah.
clear why they dressed up as angels to sneak into a castle. This is one of those things you look back on as a kid, like why didn't they just like go? Why did they have to dress up as angels? It's just one of those things,
No
man.
idea.
One of those things. It's like you start putting pieces together as an adult. It's like that doesn't make any fucking sense. When you really sit down and think about it.
All right, so the movie I just remembered that got me saying what the fuck that I just about watching.
Uh huh.
Chainsaw Girl. You ever seen it
Chainsaw Girl. Chainsaw.
or heard of it? I think that's what it's called. Let me see here.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah. Japanese film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deep fried that dude's hand. Yeah. The memories. They're
Her
burned.
hand.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was her hand. Oh God.
Deep fried her hand. Uh, Wait, not Chainsaw Girl. It was there was a
Bloody Chainsaw Girl, 2016. That's the movie I'm seeing.
no, that's not Bloody Chainsaw Girl.
I'm gonna look up Japanese movie where they deep fry a girl's hand.
Chainsaw Girl is a difference. I actually know the manga where the Bloody Chainsaw Girl comes from. Unfortunately,
Machine Girl. That's what it was.
Machine
Machine
Girl. Yeah,
Girl.
Machine Girl.
Thank you, Griffin.
Or was it Machine Girl?
It was that. Yeah, because Butch showed us that one. Mr.
Yeah,
McHale.
yeah, that's right. That's right. I saw this movie from. Uh,
It upsets me that I literally looked up Machine Girl and there's so many images of tempura. That alone makes me feel uncomfortable. There'll be no further elaboration. Just watch Machine
uh,
Girl, man.
just
Before we,
not the end, yeah, just what the fuck.
before we kill our brains just trying to find stuff to think, I think that's a good point to kind of end and start wrapping things up here. What do you think?
That sounds good with me.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining me, Mr. Chakaron.
No problem.
I guess last order of business, to go to our wonderful wheel. I'm gonna now, as I mentioned earlier, the topics are going to be a little more narrow focus this time. I'm slowly like drip feeding more very specific topics in there as opposed to like let's just do broad topics. Broad topics are fun every once in a while, but like to have more just concise, we know exactly what two or three movies to talk about. I'm going to slowly make these topics reflect that. Uh, so right now, the topics we have there's guilty pleasures, Adam Sandler comedies, classic Universal monsters, animations of Don Bluth, hand drawn Disney films, based on a true story, and Jurassic Park movies. And of course, there's the guest decides. Where if it lands on that, Mr. Chakaron, you get to choose any of the other seven at your will.
Oh, I thought I get to just make one. Okay.
I know. I am going to limit you based off of the stuff I have here. I know. I am a butt, but I gotta try to keep it fair. That's
It's your show.
yeah. All right. But without further ado, let us spin the wheel. Holy shit, you are the third. The guest gets to decide.
Okay. Wait, really?
Yeah, the guest decides.
Okay. Um,
Yeah, again, your options there's guilty pleasures, Adam Sandler comedies, classic Universal monsters, animations of Don Bluth, hand drawn Disney films based on a true story, and Jurassic Park movies.
animations of Don Bluth.
Don Bluth it is. Next time we do something a little more upbeat.
How to
Well,
pull out that childhood trauma.
I almost said upbeat, but like no. Let's be real about
They
this.
are upbeat,
For the most
but
part,
on but there's the upbeats and the downbeats.
Don Bluth is like, time to make you feel good. Then you get to the end of American Tail and Hot Dogs Go to Heaven. Now
No,
cry.
it's time to make you feel. Don Bluth isn't how to make you feel good. It's time to make you feel.
Hey kids, want to watch Land Before Time?
You're
Littlefoot's
gonna feel
mom.
things. Things you won't understand what you're feeling until you get older, and then you realize, oh, that was amazing, but why was I watching this as a kid?
Oh, I'm looking up the full list of things, and I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna bring up. Fuck yes, a lot of good movies. I'm gonna bring up Rockadoodle. I fucking love Rockadoodle. No one likes Rockadoodle. I like
Oh
Rockadoodle.
man,
I know there's like the obvious.
no,
That's next week.
no,
That's like
I'm just remembering like I love All Dogs Go to Heaven, but I know a bit of real life trivia about it that's really sad.
yeah,
The ad honestly adds a bit more gravitas and everything to the final scene in the movie.
yes.
Uh, but anyway, I don't know if I'll be on that episode or not.
We'll
I
see.
might be
There's a few people.
I might be taking another 15 hour eternal slumber. You know, who knows?
We'll see what happens. I'm gonna ask around for a while on we'll see how many people are like just one person, two people who's gonna join me on the in 2 weeks from now when we talk about the animations of Don Bluth. But yeah, thank you once again for joining. If you're watching on YouTube, there is a link down below for a Discord invite. There is a chat on the Discord, so you can pitch different subjects for different topics for the wheel. I usually refer to that first before I make final say of stuff to put in there and narrow down. So yeah, add stuff to it. Like I love having topics. I love talking about movies in different ways. So yeah, y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all next time.
Goodbye.